Which of the following is a safe way to drive through a curve? A. Slow down as you enter, speed up as you exit. B. Maintain a constant speed throughout the curve. C. Speed up as you enter, slow down as you exit. D. Stay near the right edge of your lane. A. Slow down as you enter, speed up as you exit. You should slow down as you enter a curve and increase your speed gradually as you exit. Increasing your speed as you enter a curve will make it more difficult to control your vehicle. Where is passing prohibited? A. In a tunnel. B. On a bridge. C. In an underpass. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Drivers should not pass in an underpass, on a bridge, or in a tunnel. Drivers should only pass where it is safe and legal to do so. The Child Passenger Safety Law requires children who are under the age of 8 and shorter than. Fill in the blank. To be seated in a federally approved safety system or booster seat. A. 5 feet, 5 inches. B. 5 feet. C. 4 feet, 11 inches. D. 4 feet, 9 inches. D. 4 feet, 9 inches. The Child Passenger Safety Law requires children who are under the age of 8 and less than 4 feet, 9 inches tall to be seated in a federally approved safety system or booster seat. They must be restrained in the rear seat of the vehicle. When approaching a railroad crossing, you should A. Slow down. B. Look for a train. C. Be ready to stop. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. When you see any signs indicating a nearby railroad crossing, you should slow down, look for a train, and be ready to stop. If the red warning lights are flashing or the gate is down, you must stop 15 to 50 feet before the railroad tracks. Do not try to go around the gate.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
When turning or changing lanes, you must A. Always signal your intentions even when no visible traffic is present. B. Signal only if there is visible traffic. C. Signal only when driving at night. D. Signal only when driving in heavy traffic at night. A. Always signal your intentions even when no visible traffic is present. Always signal your intentions when changing lanes, turning, or pulling away from a curb. Do not allow yourself to become lazy and form the bad habit of not following this law. This sign means A. Winding road. B. No parking. C. Right lane closed. D. Multiple turns. A. Winding road. Warning signs prepare drivers for upcoming road conditions and hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns drivers that they are approaching a winding road and that they should adjust their speed accordingly. This road sign means A. Sharp turn to the right. B. Double curve. C. Winding road. D. Pavement ends. Another driver is trying to pass your car. You should A. Pull off the road. B. Signal to the other driver when it is safe for them to pass. C. Check for oncoming traffic and adjust your speed to allow safe passing. D. Speed up. C. Check for oncoming traffic and adjust your speed to allow safe passing. Keep right when another driver begins to pass you on the left. Check for oncoming traffic and adjust your speed to let the passing vehicle move back into the right lane as easily as possible. Night driving can be more difficult than driving during the day because A. Cars overheat more quickly at night. B. Visibility is reduced in the dark. C. It is more likely to be raining at night. D. You are more likely to encounter a motorcycle at night. You may drink alcoholic beverages in a vehicle on a public highway. A. As long as you aren't driving. B. If you are riding in the back seat. C. If you are riding in the back of a pickup truck. D. Under no circumstances. D. Under no circumstances. It is against the law to consume or possess any alcoholic beverage while on a public road or sidewalk. Additionally, storing an open alcoholic beverage container in an area of a motor vehicle normally occupied by the driver or passenger is prohibited on any public road. This sign means A. Divided highway ends. B. One-way traffic ahead. C. Two-way traffic ahead. D. Keep to the right. D. Keep to the right. This sign indicates that you must keep to the right of the upcoming divider. What do speed limit signs indicate? A. Potential driving speeds for the area. B. The maximum or minimum speed that is legally allowed to be driven. C. The speed drivers should drive in heavy traffic. D. The speed drivers should drive under poor conditions. B. The maximum or minimum speed that is legally allowed to be driven. Speed limit signs indicate the maximum or minimum safe speed that is allowed to be driven on a roadway. The maximum limits are for ideal conditions and you must reduce your speed when conditions require it. Drinking coffee after drinking alcohol. A. Decreases blood alcohol concentration. B. Cancels the effect of the alcohol. C. Has no effect on blood alcohol concentration. D. Increases blood alcohol concentration. What is the appropriate action to take when approaching a railroad crossing that does not have signals to direct traffic? A. Always bring the car to a complete stop. B. Slow down and be prepared to stop. C. All railroad crossings have signals so you will never encounter this situation. D. Increase your speed to get across the tracks quickly. B. Slow down and be prepared to stop. When approaching an unmarked railroad crossing, slow down and be prepared to stop. Before you cross, be sure that no trains are approaching from either direction on any track. If you see or hear a train coming, stop at a safe distance from the nearest track and wait to proceed until after the train passes. A speed restriction sign. A. May be ignored in rainy, snowy, or icy conditions. B. Has a triangular shape. C. Is blue with black lettering. D. Shows a recommended speed for a curve or turn. MVC may terminate your road test before it begins if A. You brought an unsafe testing vehicle. B. A center console or other equipment in your vehicle obstructs their access to the brake pedal. C. Your vehicle is missing seat belts. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. A road test may be denied before it begins if the examiner considers your prospective testing vehicle unsafe or unsuitable. The vehicle may be considered unsafe if it is missing seat belts and if the examiner cannot access the foot brake or parking brake. Unless otherwise posted, the speed limit in residential districts is A. 10 miles per hour. B. 25 miles per hour. C. 45 miles per hour. D. 65 miles per hour. B. 25 miles per hour. Unless otherwise posted, the speed limit in residential districts is 25 miles per hour. If a different speed limit is posted, you should follow that speed limit. While driving, your wheels slip off the edge of the road. You should A. Jerk the steering wheel to force the vehicle back onto the pavement. B. Speed up and steer back onto the pavement gradually. C. Slam on your brakes and stop. D. Slow down by gently using the brakes. Turn the steering wheel to return to the pavement at a safe speed. D. Slow down by gently using the brakes. Turn the steering wheel to return to the pavement at a safe speed. If your vehicle begins to leave the road, continue to drive with the wheels off the pavement and reduce your speed by gently applying the brakes. When at a safe speed, turn the steering wheel to return to the pavement. Do not attempt to force your vehicle back onto the pavement by sharply turning the steering wheel. You must stop for a school bus. A. That is parked on the shoulder of the road with no one in it. B. When it approaches you, even if its lights are not flashing. C. If you are both driving on a two-lane highway and its red lights are flashing. D. Whenever the driver waves at you. Is it legal cross a double solid yellow centerline to pass? A. Yes. B. No. C. If there is no oncoming traffic. D. If the vehicle ahead of you is driving under the speed limit. B. No. Two solid yellow lines down the center of a two-way road mean that neither lane of traffic may cross the lines, unless they are turning off of the roadway. A driver can cross double yellow lines when turning into or out of a driveway or entrance to a business. No passing is allowed over a solid yellow line. When approaching a flashing red traffic light, drivers should A. Drive through the intersection if there is no crossing traffic. B. Continue driving, as they have the right of way. C. Stop if a police officer is nearby. D. Treat the light like a stop sign. D. Treat the light like a stop sign. Flashing red lights are used at dangerous intersections. Treat them like stop signs. Under ideal driving conditions, a driver should maintain a minimum following distance of A. 1 second. B. 2 seconds. C. 3 seconds. D. 10 seconds. C. 3 seconds. To help you maintain a safe following distance, you should follow the 3-second plus rule. If the vehicle in front of you passes an object 3 seconds before your vehicle reaches the same object, you are likely driving with a safe following distance. Extend your following distance anytime conditions are less than ideal. When you see or hear an emergency vehicle coming, you should A. Stop immediately and let the vehicle pass. B. Drive as far toward the right side of the road as is safe and stop. C. Proceed slowly and permit the vehicle to pass. D. Keep moving slowly, staying to the right side of the road. B. Drive as far toward the right side of the road as is safe and stop. When driving on a two-lane roadway or undivided highway, you must yield to an emergency vehicle using its lights and/or siren, regardless of the direction from which it is approaching. Immediately drive as near as possible to the right side of the road and stop, taking care not to stop within an intersection. To safely pass a bicycle, you should A. Honk at the bicyclist to let them know you're trying to pass. B. Drive in the bicycle lane until you get a chance to pass. C. Slow down and give them as much space as possible. D. Rush ahead to pull in front of the bicyclist. C. Slow down and give them as much space as possible. When passing a bicyclist, slow down and give them as much space as you can. Bicyclists have much less protection than drivers of motor vehicles and they should not be crowded. Passing a bicycle too quickly can shift the bicyclist off course. A speed limit is A. The maximum or minimum legal speed you can travel on a road under dangerous conditions. B. The maximum or minimum legal speed you can travel on a road under ideal conditions. C. The suggested speed to travel on a road under ideal conditions. D. None of the above. B. The maximum or minimum legal speed you can travel on a road under ideal conditions. A speed limit is the maximum or minimum legal speed you can travel on a road under ideal conditions. You may drive more slowly than the posted speed, but it is illegal to drive any faster. You must drive more slowly where signs indicate a school zone or work zone speed limit. If conditions such as road construction or bad weather make the posted speed unsafe, drive under the speed limit. Which of the following must you obey over the other three? A. A steady red light. B. A police officer. C. A stop sign. D. A flashing red light. This road sign means A. One-way road. B. No right turn. C. Exit. D. Sharp right turn in the road ahead. D. Sharp right turn in the road ahead. This sign indicates that there is a sharp right turn ahead. To help relieve fatigue on a long trip, it is a good idea to A. Stop and rest every 2 hours. B. Do arm exercises every hour. C. Drive with one eye open at a time. D. Change feet on the gas pedal. A. Stop and rest every 2 hours. To avoid becoming fatigued while taking a long trip, stop every 2 hours for a short break. If you become drowsy, pull off the road and park in a safe place to take a nap, or find a room to stay for the night. This road sign means A. Keep right. B. Keep left. C. Pass with caution. D. No passing. A. Keep right. This sign indicates that a divided highway begins ahead. The road splits into two one-way roadways separated by a median or divider. You must keep to the right. This sign means A. Merging traffic. B. Multiple turns. C. Lane shifting. D. Do not block intersection. A. Merging traffic. Warning signs prepare drivers for upcoming road conditions and hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign alerts drivers to potential traffic merging from the right. Drivers should prepare to allow the traffic to merge safely. The no zone is A. A term used to describe blind spots around a truck or bus. B. A special speed zone. C. A roadway with restrictions on vehicle stereo volume. D. The television show that replaced the Twilight Zone. A. A term used to describe blind spots around a truck or bus. A truck or bus has blind spots on each side, in the rear, and in the front. An automobile cannot be seen in these blind spots. These blind spots are referred to as the no zone. Drivers may not pass from either side of a fill in the blank centerline. A. Combination solid and broken yellow. B. Single broken yellow. C. Double solid yellow. D. Single broken white. C. Double solid yellow. A double solid yellow line down the center of a two-way road means that it is prohibited for traffic from either direction to cross the center to pass. When driving on slick roads, you should A. Take turns more slowly than usual. B. Change lanes quickly. C. Accelerate quickly. D. Brake hard. A. Take turns more slowly than usual. While it is always dangerous to drive too fast on slippery roads, this is especially true when driving in turns and curves. Be sure to approach them more slowly in slippery conditions than you would under normal circumstances. What does a flashing yellow traffic light mean? A. Merging traffic. B. Proceed with caution. C. Pedestrian crossing. D. Come to a full stop. B. Proceed with caution. A flashing yellow traffic light indicates that you should drive with caution. Two solid white lines painted across a traffic lane show the boundaries of a crosswalk. As a driver, you should know that A. Motor vehicles have the right of way over pedestrians in crosswalks. B. When pedestrians are in crosswalks, they should be given the right of way. C. No one has the right of way in a crosswalk. D. Pedestrians are responsible to stay out of the way of all traffic. This sign is used to prevent A. Entrance to full parking lots. B. Entrance to road construction areas. C. Entrance to dead-end streets. D. Entrances from the wrong direction on one-way streets and expressway ramps. D. Entrances from the wrong direction on one-way streets and expressway ramps. This sign warns that a road has one-way traffic and you must not enter from your current direction. Drivers who have consumed alcohol before getting behind the wheel. A. Are always aware of the risks they are taking. B. Do not have sufficient control over their bodies and minds or the vehicles being driven. C. Are better drivers because they are more careful than sober drivers. D. Have quicker reaction times. B. Do not have sufficient control over their bodies and minds or the vehicles being driven. Alcohol is a depressant that negatively affects judgment, vision, concentration, understanding of reality, and reaction time. It is never safe to consume alcohol in any amount before getting behind the wheel of a car. What are the colors of warning signs indicating upcoming hazards? A. Black letters or symbols on a white background. B. Black letters or symbols on a yellow background. C. White letters or symbols on a blue background. D. White letters or symbols on a green background. B. Black letters or symbols on a yellow background. Warning signs that indicate approaching hazards are usually yellow with black lettering or symbols. Warning signs in work zones are orange with black lettering or symbols. If an approaching train is near enough or going fast enough to be a danger, you must A. Slow down and proceed with caution. B. Not cross the tracks until the train has completely passed. C. Cross the tracks at your own risk. D. Find an alternative route across tracks. B. Not cross the tracks until the train has completely passed. You should look and listen for trains before crossing any railroad tracks. If an approaching train is near enough or going fast enough to be a danger, you cannot go across the tracks. This is true even if they have no signals or the signals are not working. You may drive around or under a gate that is being lowered or raised at a railroad crossing. A. As long as an approaching train is not too close. B. If your vehicle can do so without damaging the gate. C. If you first look carefully in both directions. D. Under no circumstances. D. Under no circumstances. Flashing red lights, lowered crossing gates, and/or bells at a railroad crossing mean that you must come to a complete stop. You must not go across the tracks until the lights and bells have stopped and the crossing gates are completely up. Do not drive around or under a gate that is moving up or down. A good rule to remember for passing is A. Pass on the right whenever possible. B. Drive with the flow of traffic and pass only as needed. C. Try to get to the front of any slow-moving traffic so that you can see better. D. Always flash your lights and sound your horn to alert other drivers to your intentions. B. Drive with the flow of traffic and pass only as needed. Each time you pass another vehicle, there is an increased chance for a collision. If you are moving faster than surrounding traffic, you will have to continue passing others. Drive with the flow of traffic, within the legal speed limit, and pass only as needed. This sign means A. One-way traffic. B. Divided highway ends. C. Two-way traffic. D. Keep left. B. Divided highway ends. Warning signs are usually diamond-shaped with black markings on a yellow background. They alert drivers to upcoming hazards. This sign indicates that the divided highway is about to end. Allowing a space cushion between your vehicle and its surroundings is important because it A. Prevents distractions from other vehicles. B. Allows you time to react to unexpected situations. C. Keeps traffic flowing at a safe pace. D. Keeps other drivers alert. B. Allows you time to react to unexpected situations. The only way to be sure you will have enough time to react to mistakes made by other drivers is to leave plenty of space between you and the vehicles around you. Which of the following statements is true? A. It is okay for drivers of other vehicles to follow motorcycles closely. B. A motorcycle with two people on it is more balanced than a motorcycle with just one rider. C. The driver of a passenger vehicle must change lanes completely when passing a motorcycle. D. Drivers of other vehicles can expect a motorcycle's brake lights to turn on when the motorcyclist slows down. C. The driver of a passenger vehicle must change lanes completely when passing a motorcycle. Motorcycles are entitled to the width of a full lane. Be sure your vehicle is entirely in the left lane before attempting to pass a motorcycle on the left. From top to bottom, the following is the proper order for traffic lights. A. Red, yellow, green. B. Red, green, yellow. C. Green, red, yellow. D. Green, yellow, red. A. Red, yellow, green. On a traffic signal arranged vertically, red is always on top and green on the bottom. When arranged horizontally, red is always on the left and green on the right. The child passenger safety law requires children who are under the age of 4 and weighing less than. Fill in the blank. To be restrained in a federally approved safety system. A. 60 pounds. B. 55 pounds. C. 40 pounds. D. 48 pounds. C. 40 pounds. The child passenger safety law requires children who are under the age of 4 and weighing less than 40 pounds to be restrained in a federally approved safety system. This may be a rear-facing or forward-facing seat with a 5-point harness and must be in the rear seat of the vehicle. A sign that someone is an aggressive driver is that they A. Fail to properly yield the right-of-way. B. Maintain a 3-second following distance. C. Never change traffic lanes. D. Are driving with a burned-out headlight. A. Fail to properly yield the right-of-way. Aggressive drivers are dangerous and should not be confronted by other motorists. An aggressive driver may make dangerous driving decisions, such as making erratic lane changes, following another vehicle too closely, and failing to properly yield the right-of-way. Roads freeze quickly when they are A. Flat. B. Curvy. C. In the sun. D. Shaded. D. Shaded. In cold or wet weather, you should take special care on sections of road that are shaded by trees or buildings. These areas freeze more quickly than the rest of the road and are the last parts of the road to dry. When you are in a line of traffic that is crossing a railroad track that has no signals or gates. A. You have the right-of-way and do not need to check for trains. B. You may pass slower drivers while crossing the track. C. You need to make sure there is space for your vehicle to get all the way across the tracks without stopping. D. All of the above. C. You need to make sure there is space for your vehicle to get all the way across the tracks without stopping. If you are following another vehicle at a railroad crossing, check to make sure you have enough room to get all the way across before you drive onto the tracks. You should never try to pass another vehicle as you approach or cross a railroad crossing. Always check for trains before crossing any railroad tracks. Taking drugs along with alcohol. A. Increases the risk of causing a crash. B. Is no more dangerous than consuming alcohol by itself. C. Lessens the effect of alcohol on your ability to drive. D. Has no effect on your general driving ability. A. Increases the risk of causing a crash. Drugs, including illegal, prescription, and over-the-counter medications, can affect your brain function and impair your ability to drive safely. Combining alcohol with other drugs will increase the risk of a crash.